Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the match preview for Aston Villa versus Everton. Now this game is absolutely critical for Everton. We lost to these guys a couple of weeks ago, very big first game of May. We got absolutely freaking tonked by them. We had no pace, we looked like we just couldn't give two tosses. This was also the game where Mason Holgate made quite a bit of a fluff for himself, making some silly little turns, thinking that he could outdo Ollie Watkins. Well, the good news is we can put Mason Holgate back into the squad, I think, because Ollie Watkins isn't actually going to be playing. Ollie Watkins actually picked up a red card in the previous game against Man United, where Aston Villa lost 3-1. And now Ollie Watkins is sitting in the stands. For the likes of Jack Grealish, I am not 100% sure. I think he still is injured, but we will have other people that will still pose a threat. The likes of Ross Barkley, who, granted, he is not as good as what he used to be. He can still drag that ball upfield and he will still pose quite a significant threat for our back four. Speaking of which, I feel Everton, now that we've got quite a few of our players back, the likes of Decore and James Rodriguez, should be ready to play. I think it would be good to play a 4-5-1. Because now that we actually have, some wider players, we could take some full advantage of that. Actually play the full width of the field and have it more attack centric. Now you're probably thinking, yeah, but it's one or two players who are back. What's the big deal? Those one or two players are actually mostly our pace and our creativity. Decore was pretty much the pace for our Everton squad. He was the linking point between the midfield and the attack, as well as the defence and attack, because he would normally like to sit back, get the ball, and put it upfield with some pace. The likes of James Rodriguez, I shouldn't really have to explain this. If you've watched the football this season, you would have known that James Rodriguez, being in the Everton squad, has added quite a bit of creative flair when it comes to the squad. He is able to pretty much pick a pass wherever he wants it to go, and I would say 99 times out of 100, he is going to get that pass onto the person or within the very close vicinity of that person, having them able to actually use that ball and move with it. So in that regard, I'm going to give you my starting 11. So in goal would be Pickford again. Again, this is self-explanatory. He has been an absolutely solid keeper for us so far since he's come back from his injury and since he got that beautiful haircut. I don't know what it is. He quite literally looks like, before every game, just gets a bowl full of gel, slops onto his hair, and then pulls it back with absolute ferocity as if it's holding his face up. But yeah, Pickford will be in goal. Left back will be Lucas Digne. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. He's been, 100% solid. I've never really had much of an issue. There have been times where Lucas Digne has looked a bit shaky, but in regards to, his just standard play style, he's got no contention. His closest contention is Niels and Cuckoo. And he's still a bit young, I feel, to be going into the squad on a full-time basis. But hey, I think a cameo here and there for him would not do any harm at all. In the centre, I would have Ben Godfrey on the left. So, in the centre defence, Ben Godfrey is an absolute no-brainer. He's got the pace, he's got the strength, and he can make the critical tackles at the right time. Watching him in the previous game against West Ham, he was absolutely outstanding. He was getting every single tackle almost right down to a T. He was able to put it upfield. He's able to do some peach passes that are able to put people through. So he still deserves to be in the squad and playing in the role that I feel he is best at. Just to the right one, I would be putting Michael Keane. Now, granted, I did talk about Mason Holgate, but in all fairness, Michael Keane needs to be back in the squad and back into the rotation more fully. Granted, he has made mistakes. Damn it, I'm still yawning. Granted, he has made mistakes, but in all fairness, 9 times out of 10, any mistakes he has done, he makes up for it by tenfold. Right back, I will start Seamus Coleman again. Seamus Coleman, he's been an out-and-out servant for Everton. He's been brilliant since the day he was signed up. Granted, we were almost close to... I'm sorry. Seamus Coleman's been absolutely out and out brilliant for Everton. We almost did lose him though due to an infected blister, ironically enough. If anyone's unsure about that, please actually look at his Wikipedia page. It gives you the full details of it. So apparently before we, when we got him, one of the training sessions he was doing with us under Moyes, he had a blister that became infected. Thankfully, due to the Everton team actually spotting this very early on, we were able to actually deal with it before it got worse, because if it would have gotten too bad, he would have lost his foot. We also could have lost him when he had his bloody leg broken. I'd like to personally thank Martin O'Neill for putting him in that lineup. Thanks, ass. But yeah, Seamus Coleman as a right back, it's out and out. It's just perfect. And yes, I would do what I did last time. The left back and right back would be the kind who would be adventuring upfield. Granted, I wouldn't have them going as far as what they were doing in the previous game when we had the whole 3-5-2 set up, but I would still do that. I would still have them playing that sort of fashion, just to the fact it adds a lot of width to our game. So, on the left wing, I would have... Who would I have? On the left wing, I would probably... that is a good... Give me a second. I'm going to have to think about that one. On the left wing, I would probably have to put... Well, I'd say left wing, left midfield. It would be Doucouré. Doucouré has... now that he's back, I would like to see that pace coming up the left. I would like to almost see it in a... If anyone who's actually watching this remembers, I'd expect them to remember, because it's really not that long ago, the Leighton Baines Stephen Pienaar link-up. A few years back, we used to have Leighton Baines and Stephen Pienaar. When they went up the field, the two of them would interpass with each other right the way up that channel. And the synchronicity that they had between each other was absolutely brilliant. It was otherworldly. If we were to have down to both left and right, we would have had quite a dynamic on our teams, and it would have been an absolute perfect combination. So, having Doucouré up there, I would think that would be quite good, just the fact that he's got the pace, he's able to actually get up and down that field without an issue. I would be quite wary. I would keep a very close eye on him. So if I see him starting to stammer or struggle, I would bring him off, and reluctantly I'll probably bring... I would bring Bernard or maybe even Sigurdsson in his place. But other than that, I would like to give him a start and just get him, back into the action. In central midfield, I would have Tom Davies and Alan. The two of them are absolutely spot on at the moment. They are both able to cover each other brilliantly. Alan's able to adventure up, and Tom Davies is able to act like the perfect bridge between defence and midfield as another outlet if, say for argument's sake, Doucouré is caught upfield, or it's been like a quick hasty knock to try and do a counter-attack and it's been cancelled out. So Tom Davies is always within that area. He's not afraid to turn with the ball and get up the field. And if he needs to outlet it to, say, like Doucouré, Alan or Rodriguez, he can do so. And again with Alan, as we all know, he is an absolutely brilliant defensive midfielder. He's got the physique, he's got the pace, and he's got the eye for a good pass. So I would always have him in the squad if he's fit. I cannot see us not having him in the squad. He is an absolute long stay for this club. So on the right, I would have James Rodriguez. Now you're probably thinking, why would you do that? That's our creative outlet. Shouldn't that be like the attacking midfield where you have them in the middle? Yes, granted, but the way James Rodriguez likes to play is he plays on the right-hand side of the field, and he will use that channel in order to get the ball, move it up, and then cut inside for what he needs to do. Also, he is an absolute expert when it comes to long balls. So any long ball that he needs to do, he gets it to his target. So he will go up that right channel, he'll get the ball, and he'll launch it to, say, Luca Dean, Doucouré, or Calvert-Lewin. So, yeah. Right, so that was... Actually, jeez, I've just realised. I said 4-5-1. I'm setting up as a 4-4-2 because I'm going to have a Richarlison and David Calvert-Lewin in the top area. But instead, I'm going to make a slight alteration here. I'm sorry. So, Decore would be inside alongside Tom Davies and Alan, but I would have him and Alan a little further upfield. Granted, Alan is a defensive midfielder, but his creativity is great. It is really good. It's better than, let's put it like this, it's better than Andre Gomez's. So I would have Decore and Alan a little bit further upfield and have Davies sitting just behind the two of them. So he acts like the link between the defence and the midfield, and he can outlet it to them two, and they can use pace to bring it upfield. And on the left would be Richarlison. I've seen him play on the left-hand side, and he's an absolute powerhouse when it comes to this sort of stuff. When he's motivated to do the job, him going up and down fields, it's like watching someone walking through the park in comparison. He powers up and down that field without much of an issue. And he's just able to get the ball, you know. I always remember him being so hungry for the ball. So if we put him back into that position, I feel like he could get back into that mindset of, I want this ball. I am going to get this ball. I'm going to get this ball up bloody field. So I want to put him back on the left. So this is pretty much the layout as we've got so far. Pickford in goal, Digne on the left. Then it's going to be Godfrey, Michael Keane. I was going to say Moise Keane then for a sec, sorry. Michael Keane, Seamus Coleman. And then you would have Richarlison on the far left as a left winger. Decore, a little further afield up. Tom Davies in the middle behind him. And then Alan just ahead. And then James Rodriguez on the far right, acting as a right midfielder. I would put him more as an attacking midfielder. Granted, that might create a bit of a hole, but I'm hoping Tom Davies or Alan will be able to fill that gap for where James Rodriguez hasn't got the pace. And then right up the top, at the absolute peak of it, I would have Calvert-Lewin. Now, granted, Calvert-Lewin, he's been doing great actually. Previous game against West Ham, he was all around that area. He was comfortable on the ball with the pass, and he was able to slot it into the corner. So I would like to try and see more of that coming up. So with the five in the midfield, there would be multiple opportunities for him to get provided with some absolute peach passes from the likes of Rodriguez, Alan, Tom Davies, Decore, or Richarlison. And if we're actually catching them on the counter-attack, for argument's sake, it could even be again from Ben Godfrey, because his passing play is absolutely spot on, which I've probably said about 5 times this video. But yeah, that's my lineup. In a situation, let's say, we're 1 or 2 goals up, I feel like playing the whole park the bus game could actually be advantageous to us. So in that mindset, what I would probably do is I would bring Decore, Rodriguez and Richarlison off, let them rest. Bring on Bernard, Sigurdsson, and who else would I bring on? Holgate in their stead. So the back line would then become a back 5. The midfield, you would have lost 3 midfielders there. So you would have Bernard and Sigurdsson, so that would be a 5-4-1. Yeah, 5-4-1. So basically the squad ends up going into a 5-4-1 position, and I would have them easing off on the press unless we're able to actually cut a ball out and go for the counter. Yes, we would have lost a lot of our pace, but I still think in the right situation, let's say for argument's sake, if we're able to lob one over and Calvert-Lewin's able to get it on the front foot, we could end up having a situation where he's able to beat the defence and have a one-on-one situation with the keeper. But I think I've covered everything there. Granted, this is our chance to redeem ourselves against that travesty of a game we had at Goodison Park. The only thing is, as we already know, we've won 11 away games this season, and we've barely won any at home. And in all honesty, I think it's mostly down to the lack of fans in the stadiums. When you're at Goodison Park, the fans are pretty much your 12th man. The atmosphere, basically when things are going well, the cheering and everything, that is a super motivational boost. And when the fans get behind you, you feel unstoppable. It's an absolute given. So come the Wolves game, I think that could be where we're able to turn that horrible home records around. Granted, we have got Sheffield United beforehand, but if we're able to stick to our guns, we should be able to drag a result out. It's not going to be a pretty result because Sheffield United have now, they're pretty much rock bottom, they're relegated. They've got nothing to lose, so they're going to go out by taking the bloody scalps of as many people as possible before they go. So I feel with the likes of Sheffield United, we're going to have to tread carefully because there may be injuries resulting in that one. So if we're able to just drag out a 1-0 win with them guys, then that would be a great result. But the Wolves game, when the fans are back, we're going to need that squad to perform at 120%. We're going to have to make sure those fans have got something to cheer about because they deserve it. The support the fans have been given Everton, even without the stadium, has been absolutely phenomenal. And we need, and the players need to pay them back for it. Okay, so I think I've had my rant for today. I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. I'm sorry if this one's a little bit shorter than normal. In all honesty, it's just a repeat of what we're going to have against in the previous game. All our players are back. The only person who's injured at the moment is Yerry Mina, which is why I didn't have him in the squad. But I think that should have been quite self-explanatory. If you watch the West Ham game, when he was limping off with his thigh strain, I think that might be him out until either, I'm going to say either the Sheffield United game or the Wolves game. But we need this. We need this to be a win, and we need the next two to be a win. If it's a scrappy win, one that we have to drag out, then so be it. But we need to get these wins. We need to get into Europe in order to attract the players and build the squad that Carlo wants to build. Because I know for a fact the team he's going to build is something that's going to take Everton to the next level. And by the time the new stadium is built, we want to be able to give them a European trophy to say goodbye to the old lady and hello to the new one. Speaking of which, we call Goodison Park the old lady. What do we call the Bramley Moor? The Mermaid? That's actually a good one, that. Call Bramley Moor the Mermaid. On the waterfront, and it's the new lady. If anyone ever sees me in the public, please call me an idiot. I deserve it. Okay, guys, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. If you liked the video, hit that like button. If you don't, please put it in the comment section below where you didn't like it and how I should improve. I'm always loving feedback from people, so feedback from you is always greatly appreciated. Also, if you're new to the channel, why not hit that subscribe button and hit the bell? YouTube's algorithm says, basically, if you like the stuff and you subscribe, we're going to show you more. This isn't just going to be me, though. If you're, let's say for argument's sake, you're new to football and you like what you see, you think, oh, this Everton team sounds great. You hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, not only will you be notified about my stuff, your feed will start getting more and more stuff bled into it. So you'll get the likes of Toffee TV, Raw Blue Mersey, Grand Old Team. You'll get all the other Everton some of the Everton fan channels slowly leaking in who've got multiple different personalities. They're all great people. Never met any of them, but I've been a huge fan of Toffee TV for a while. And I always love the way they approach football. They're brutally honest, so if Everton have a good game, they will say, Everton had a great game today, couldn't fault them. Or if they had a bad game, they would say, Everton had a crap game, this is why, and this is how you can improve it. Come on, Blues. But yeah, actually, you know what? Go, if you've not heard of Toffee TV, go search Toffee TV. Honestly, they are brilliant people. Okay, guys, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.